Alright, hey guys, my name is Kyle, and I play a game called Path of Exile. I wanted to make some beginner guide content because Path of Exile is extremely overwhelming to start for new players, and there's really not that much beginner guide content. It's really confusing, there's a lot of stuff going on, but once you get the hang of it, it's really simple, so I wanted to make it a little bit easier for everybody to learn. So today, what we're going to talk about for the first video is what kind of game Path of Exile is, what is a league, and how do you choose the version of the league you want to play in, as well as the benefits of each of those versions. If you liked the video, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, come check out my stream at twitch.tv/controversity. I stream Path Monday through Wednesday from 9 a.m. EST to 2 p.m. EST, and then sometimes I stream again in the evenings after work. Alright, let's hop right on into it. So, the first thing we want to talk about, what is Path of Exile? Well, at the end of the day, it's a MMORPG dungeon crawler game. It's a lot like Diablo. There's a lot of differences and there's a lot of things that Path does that Diablo doesn't. But it's that style of game. It's an extremely grindy game. You complete the campaign. Most good players, most of the top end players will complete the campaign within probably 5 to 10 hours. That's usually a pretty good time to complete it in. And once you do that, you get into maps, and it's very, very grindy. You're doing a lot of grinding to get gear, do endgame bosses, stuff like that. And it's very repeatable. You can repeat the game over and over and over again, stuff like that. And it's constantly updated. The devs here, they are updating the game approximately every 3 months. There's new content approximately every 3 months, in the form of leagues, and then on top of that, they come out with expansions every year. Like this year, they're looking to have 4 expansions, and they do that, and then it's 100% free to play with the option to buy microtransactions and some stash tab upgrades, which we'll get into all the stash tab upgrades later. But the microtransactions are all cosmetic stuff. It's all to make your character look good, make your skills look good, stuff like that. So now that we got that down, what's a league? Well, a league is a 3-month period of the game that has extra stuff that standard does not, that the base game does not. And they come out with this new league every single 3 months approximately. There's been a couple delays to improve on the leagues and stuff like that, but there is usually a new league every 3 months. These leagues will have special modifiers to them. They'll have special content, all kinds of things like that. And there's a softcore version, a hardcore version, and then there's a solo self-found version and a hardcore solo self-found version. So, and then besides the league for this game, you have standard and you have standard hardcore. So you finally load up the game. You load it up, you hit login, you type in your credentials, you hit login, and now you have this screen. Well, this will have options. So you see here where it says league. You can do standard, you can do hardcore, you can do solo self-found standard, solo self-found hardcore. At the time of this video, at 3.13, we are currently in Ritual League. This right here is Trade League, so you can trade with other players, items, you can group up, stuff like that. And it's just regular gameplay. If you die, you lose 10% XP, and you can continue. And then there's Hardcore Ritual, which the difference between this and regular is that you can still trade and you can still group up, but if you die, your character then goes to standard. Your character is dead. You can't play in hardcore anymore with that character. So you'd have to create another character. Then there's solo self-found of each of those. Solo self-found, what that means is you can't group up with anybody. You can't trade. or anything. Everything you do is by yourself. You play the game 100% by yourself, and you try and grind out gear, build a character, all this stuff by yourself. And then obviously hardcore is the same as regular hardcore ritual, where you can't do if you die, that's you only get one life. And then this here is I created a private league. So Grinding Gear Games, or GGG, that's what everybody calls them, is GGG, allows us to create private leagues. We can create our own modifiers, and you can do things like, for instance, me and two of my buddies, we do a group solo self-found, and we do it pretty regularly. And you can do this every league. They allow you to create this. It does cost a little bit of money because this is extra content, but if you want that option, you can do it. So now the differences between standard or standard hardcore versus a league. So standard will not get any of the extra league content. Standard will have standard, so you go through a league, and if GGG at the end of the league, if GGG decides to put that into the core game, it will then go to standard. But then they start up a new league, and you cannot, that new content is not in standard, so you don't get to play that. So that's the difference. um so you don't get access to the new uniques or anything like that in standard versus league. Now, all right. So what Ritual League is that you'll go through every area, and in a league you'll have a whatever the league mechanic is will be in every zone, every new zone you do. So you'll walk through an area, and then once you get to the end of that area, it'll load it. You click the door, and it'll load up a new area, and you'll be in that new area. It'll have that league content, a new instance of that league content in every area. So what Ritual League is, for instance, for 3.13, is that you'll go into an area, and you'll find these altars. So you'll find these altars here like this. They'll look like this. They all look differently depending on what type they are, and they all do different things. They have different effects, stuff like this. So you'll walk in there, you'll go through and find these rituals. You'll kill the monsters inside a ritual circle. You can kind of see it here in the background, like right back there. It's a giant circle that goes all the way around the ritual, around the altar, and you'll kill the monsters inside of it. Once you kill those monsters, you can click on the altar, and it'll respawn those monsters, and you kill them again, and you collect what's called favor or tribute. You collect tribute, and then once you finish at the bottom right hand side of your screen, it'll show, once you finish one altar, it'll show you how many you've done out of how many are left, in a little square with the little red square that has an altar for a picture. And once you complete all of those, so if there's 3 in the area and you complete all 3 of them, you click on the last altar, or you click that button, or you click V, and it'll pull up a screen like this that says favors. It shows you how much tribute you have remaining, and you scroll over each one of these items, and it'll tell you how much tribute they cost. It'll show you what the item is, what its name is, and stuff like that. You can read its all its attributes, its modifiers, all that stuff. So that's what Ritual League is pretty much. There's also blood-filled vessels. It's something that you can use when you go into a map. You can use them to basically store all the monsters from a ritual altar, and you store them in that vessel, and then you put them into the map device with your next map, and those monsters will spawn in the next ritual. So you can basically have more tribute. And as you can see here, they come out with new uniques. They come out with new items, new gems every single league. Every single league, there's some sort of new unique items, new legendary items, whatever you call them, depending on the game you come from. And there's new gems that you can use. There's also new div cards, which we'll get into that a little later. And then it shows they added so for instance, Harvest came from a previous league that they wanted to refine before they put it into the core game. So like this page, they're just saying that they're adding Harvest into the game. They're adding Heist into the game, which was last league, and then they have the supporter packs for the league. But that's pretty much what Ritual is. And that kind of, and if you're looking at Ritual versus Standard, Standard will not have Ritual in it. It will not have any of this content in it. Hardcore Standard, Solo Self-Found Standard, Solo Self-Found Hardcore Standard will not have any of this new content. It won't have these new items. And you won't get access to this until they put it into the core game. So just keep that in mind. That's the difference. Like, just to give you a perspective, that's what the league is. But yeah, and then we will then now get into the benefits of standard and the benefits of a league. But yeah, and then we will then now get into the benefits of standard and the benefits of a league. The benefit to this, so you have benefits of both league and standard. The benefit of starting a new league is one, you get to play the new content. Two, you get to start with a fresh economy. So you don't have to compete with people that have thousands and thousands and thousands of exalts or of the in-game currency, and we'll get to that to the currency in another video. Um, Also, because it's starting a fresh new, everybody starts out the same. So if you want to get into racing, there's lots of different there's some community races that go on. Does a race pretty much every league with Shopify and GGG. um, they started that a few leagues ago. There's stuff like that, but the benefits of standard and doing standard is that you have access to any amount of gear that was previously in there. There's legacy items that no longer drop the way they are, but in standard you can have more overpowered gear. And then in and then also, like, if you don't have enough time to play, like say you only need to play for 2-3 hours a week, right? Then this might be the place that you want to go, because you don't have to compete with, you only have 3 months to build a character. It's okay, this character is permanently there. Also, with a league, you have to remember that at the end of the 3 months, your character will migrate to standard. It no longer will be in that league. It will migrate to standard, or if you have a hardcore, it'll migrate to hardcore. If you're in solo self found, it'll migrate to standard solo self found, stuff of that nature. So that's the basis of how to choose your league. So if you're looking for the new content, you'll choose whatever league it is. So in this case, you would choose Ritual, and then you're obviously looking for a new player. I recommend starting in either Ritual or Hardcore Ritual. Personally, I would do just regular Ritual. That way, you can figure out the game mechanics a little bit more, and you can not have to worry about dying when you don't know what's going on. Or you can hop right into hardcore. If you think you're a god gamer, you can hop right into hardcore, and maybe it'll be good for you. Who knows? There's lots of different things that go with it. Um, you might be able to figure it out really quickly. Maybe your friends help you out, stuff like that. But And then if you just want to play by yourself and you want to try and make the challenge of creating your gear yourself, again, I don't recommend solo self found for a new person. But if that's something you're interested in checking out, you can do it. It may not be the most fun experience when you don't know what's fully going on. But with that being said, that's pretty much what Path of Exile is, what a league is, how to choose your league, stuff like that, what the differences between standard and the leagues are, what solo self found is, and the benefits of these versions. So the next video is going to be on choosing your character and gems. So we'll dive more into gems you can play, but we'll get into that in the next video. All right, everybody, you have a nice day, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch, subscribe here on YouTube. Like I said, twitch.tv/controversy. I will post a link in the description to my Twitch, and hit that bell, like the video, do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Thanks.